What's up, Shady Sports Network? I'm joined by my guest, Alberto Castaneda. Alberto, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How you doing, man?
Great. So excited to have you on. So let's get right in. So,
Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
so you grew up in Mission, Texas. Talk a little bit about your upbringing and growing up in Mission, Texas.
Mission, Texas is it's a nice little small town. It's in the Grand Valley, Rio Valley, Grand. Excuse me. I'm about to get some heat for this because I don't know how to pronounce it right. But Rio Grande Valley. Excuse me. The South Texas, good old Mission, right by the border. If I'm having troubles with, where I'm from, it's because I grew up in Atlanta and I've been in Seattle for the last 5 or 6 years now. So I was born in Mission, Texas. Grew up in Atlanta. I went to elementary school there, middle school, and a little bit of high school, and then currently up here in Seattle. So Texas, I don't really remember much about it, but as one thing I could tell you is it's home. It's a nice little place you can call home, and it's very accessible to everywhere.
I can relate to that for sure from where I'm from. So you've been all over the map. You started in Atlanta, Texas, Seattle. So you've been everywhere.
Been all over the place.
Talk to me a little bit about your high school career.
High school was something that was really interesting. I didn't start playing football until my sophomore year of high school, and then that year I didn't even play because coach never wanted to kick anything. We had a go for 2 points and just go for we would always go for two and go for it on fourth down. The only time I got to kick would just be kickoffs, and even then they would just want me to squib the ball. So it was a very unfortunate place for me to be as far as a kicker, but that didn't stop me. I put in the work. I was getting recruited by D1 colleges, D2 colleges, and I guess it just pretty much fell into my own hands because I fell in a really tough spot and I stopped playing football my senior year. But fast forward a couple of years, I think everything is kind of working out for itself, or at least I'd hope it is.
So, not to bring up any bad memories or anything, you can totally skip by this if you feel more comfortable.
Sure.
What was your decision not to go to college? Was that a hard decision for you to make, or was that something you always knew?
I knew I have okay. A lot of athletes out there can probably relate to this. You know when you're good. You know if you're good, and you know you can play at that next level. But unfortunately, I never had the academics to back it up. And in order to play D1, D2, D3, or any college football or any college sport in general, you have to be certain GPA, certain SAT scores, certain ACT scores, certain everything. And that's honestly the only reason why I didn't go play college. A lot of people tell me, well, you could still go try now and all that stuff. But I say it's a waste of time because I'm not going to put in the work for the books,
100% college is a commitment. And it's it's a rough, grueling task. So there's always better options out there. So after college, what did you decide to do?
After college, I pretty much knew what I was going to do. Music, the entertainment industry, the entertainment business, music industry, all that stuff has been in my family since I can remember. Down to my dad's side and my mom's side, both. My dad being a strong element and big part in the 90s back in Mexico during the big movement that they had back in the day with their music entertainment industry. To pretty much when I got out of high school, I already had a list of bands that wanted to sign me, like Mexican style bands, because of my dad's connections. I played the trumpet and the trombone, and right after high school, I signed to a Mexican band and went to LA for a couple of years. And it wasn't really after my music career that when I said I'm going to start playing football again because COVID hit. I live right across the street from a football field. I have nothing to do, so let's start kicking again. And that's honestly why I started to get back into it.
So after you got into music, how did you end up getting into music? Like, how was that whole process, signing with a band? I imagine that's pretty tricky.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's literally how you think about it. You sit down, you talk about it, and you sign. But honestly, it's the same as football. If you know people, you'll be fine. It's all about networking. It's all about who you know. And I was fortunate enough to be in a position where my dad has had these connections with these people for 20 plus years, since the 80s, since the 90s. And they knew since I was a kid that I had a love for music and I played all these instruments. And they're pretty much since I was a kid, they said, just graduate high school and you can come with us. Just graduate and you can come.
So that was really like kind of them that they gave you an opportunity to pursue one of your passions. So after your music career, you signed with the Wenatchee Valley Skyhawks.
Yes,
Touch
I did. I was that.
touch a little bit on that experience.
Sure. So before signing with the Skyhawks, excuse me, I played a little bit of semi-professional football, semi-pro ball up here in the Seattle area. I didn't really last playing semi-pro because I got contacted through the Skyhawks, and there's not much really to get into the Skyhawks. I had a not so good experience playing for them and the organization. The league is a great league. It's a great opportunity for a lot of people. The team is a great team, great opportunity for a lot of people. Just wasn't the right coaching staff at the time that I was there, and not the best experience really. But what really led up to me signing with the Skyhawks was kind of out of nowhere, out of the blue. The person who was in charge of recruiting at the time was a friend of mine at the time, and like I said, it's all about who you know and it's all about who you know. Networking in this kind of things. If you have the work ethic and you can back up what you say, that just takes you a longer way. Yes, anyone can help you get in, but it's only if you have the stuff to back it up. So that was really my introduction to the Skyhawks. Meeting my the old recruiting person that was in charge of the team, and just pretty much showing out and competing for the spot.
So I know like the Skyhawks was not the best experience for you. Can you touch a little bit on how was the housing situation and the living conditions when you were with the Skyhawks?
Oh man, I don't want to put anyone under the bus, but as far as like the housing conditions or housing opportunities, I never really touched on that or even bothered to ask about that. I was living in Everett at the time, so it was a 3.5-hour drive each time I went out there to practice or have a game. One of the things that I honestly wish we could have touched more is, taking my position more serious, because there's times where I would ask for practice, special teams practicing, because everyone is quick to blame the kicker when he misses, but little do you know that it has to be a good snap, a good hold, and good blocking for everything to work out right. So probably special teams is the only thing that I wish we could have worked on a little bit more when I was there. Other than that, whatever happened. It is what it is. But I'm thankful for those people at the end of the day, because they opened the doors for me, and that's all I asked for, is an opportunity, a chance.
Unfortunately, that's the harsh reality with a lot of these arena teams. They're not really, I won't say like run properly, but there's a lot of miscues with the way
Definitely. A lot of it is they're in over their heads a little too much. They believe in their product too much, which is a good thing. You're supposed to believe in what you're selling, but also, big ego comes with that,
100%.
But that's all right though. That's all right. It's a live and learn lesson. At the end of the day, I'm thankful. I have nothing bad to say about these people, really. If I did, it was at the time when I was mad or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm just thankful for everything that they did, because whatever happened, I got the opportunity to be looked at by other people, by other teams, but to get a chance to go play in Mexico. Also, I got to go play down there at the Aztec Bowl, famous game that happens each year in December. So Skyhawks were really the open door for my future.
So you mentioned a little bit. Talk about your experience at the Aztec Bowl.
Oh man, the Aztec Bowl was crazy, incredibly crazy. I want to send a quick shout out to Coach Mark Lozano, Coach Mummy, Coach Aragouz, and I want to also Coach Geust. They were the people in charge of the air raid tour. That's what it's called. It was at Aztec Bowl, Mexico versus USA, down in Mexico City. This game is a historic game that's been going on since like the 40s or 30s. Really incredible experience. Got to go play football in my home country, the country where my family's from. I got to speak my native language. I got to be pretty much the tour and translator of the team. It was incredible experience.
So obviously, I see on your Facebook and your Instagram, you go to the gym a lot. Talk about why you enjoy going to the gym a lot.
Okay. So the gym is really funny. The only reason I started working out was because I got in trouble a couple of years ago with the law, drinking and driving. I don't recommend anyone does that, because you will get in trouble. Fortunately and unfortunately, it was my only time getting in trouble, and only time I will, because I definitely learned my lesson, and it's pretty much what told me, all right, you need to change your life. And I pretty much went the basic route. Let's get in the gym, let's do better and all that. And I just stuck with it. I just stuck with it. The gym has honestly been somewhere where I can go and relax, express, clear my mind in a way. Not express myself, but clear my mind with the weights. Just lift stuff, slam stuff, and that's the same how I feel when I go kick a football at the field. It's just me in the field, me and the ball.
Man, honestly, I can relate to that. We all make mistakes, but we learn from them and we can only get better. So,
Exactly.
obviously, you mentioned that you had that happen to you. Where do you feel like mentally you are at right now in your life?
Mentally, I'm at a place where I'm ready to accept the next available offer, but I just I just want clarity. I just want understanding. I had a team, a Mexico team from the LFA, the league down there, hit me up. They called me. They wanted me. All these things. I'm not gonna mention who it is, but when I say by I want clarity and understanding, is because they said, when can you get down here? I said I can get there as soon as possible. Just give me a couple times. Just give me a week or something to get my affairs in order, and I can head out. And then, but I asked, so I get there. Then what? What's the contract offer looking like? What is like? Is this a tryout? Am I just coming to practice? Like, what's going on? Right? Let me get some basic information. Who's picking me up at the least? They never answered my questions. They honestly just beat around the bush and just kept on asking me, when can I get there? When can I get there? And if I could get there the next day. And we weren't going anywhere with that. And kind of set me back a little bit because it kills me that I had to make that decision a couple months ago with Coach Lachlan and let him know that I couldn't play. But after that phone call and incident that I had with the LFA team, my mind has just been pretty much sprung up back again and ready to go forward with anything that has to come in. I just want mutual agreements on both sides. That's all I ask.
So, kind of like I mentioned earlier, like a lot of these teams, like they don't really consider that their players are actually like real people and they have like stuff going on. So they just think it's just another number on the roster. And they don't think about like, oh man, like this guy has a life. He needs to find transportation. And so that's my hope, honestly, for a lot of these alternate football leagues to start really considering like, hey, we need to worry about the person before we worry about the player.
So, no, most definitely. And I feel like I've experienced that a lot. If anyone who plays my position knows they've definitely experienced it, because we're just the kicker. We don't need to be there. We're just the kicker. We're just the kicker. I'm a human being too, and I'm also an athlete and a player on your team. That's what I am at the end of the day. If you want to protect your quarterback, you should protect me. The way you protect the quarterback is the way you guys should be protecting me, because we're the ones that are also going to be making the points, So when teams don't appreciate special teams, nonetheless take the kicker serious, it's one of those like, why am I even here, right?
Exactly. And like for me, like I watch your TikToks, I watch your Facebook. You can make a kick 50, 60, 70 yards, like easy. So these teams, they got to start waking up and realizing like, they got to figure out a way. So obviously you're in Seattle right now. What is your daily routine looking like? You mentioned that you were working a job or something.
Yeah, right now I'm up here in the Seattle area. Daily routine just pretty much consists of waking up, breakfast, gym, and Uber until I get tired. That's pretty much it for me, man. Not much going on. I like I said, I do Uber deliveries, so it pretty much keeps me open to have an open schedule. I'm possibly going to be looking into getting a part-time in the next couple of days or something like that. I've been looking everywhere, but if things go good with Coach Lachlan and the Billings Outlaws, I'll be in Montana probably by the end of March.
Montana, I mean, that's a nice place to play. They got a good fan base up there. So what are you right now? Like, how are you keeping your body in shape? What are you doing diet-wise?
Diet-wise, I'm the last person you should be asking when it comes to that. My diet is horrible. I pretty much eat anything that I can get a hold of. I wish I could eat more, but for me as a kicker, what's important to me is flexibility, mental repetitions, and just keeping that leg nice and warm. I do lots of leg workouts. I like to take care of my lower body so I'm not too sore, not too anything. But as far as upper body, we go hard.
That's awesome, man. I think working out is really important, and like diet is a part of it. But like as long as you work out, you're good.
Yeah.
So obviously, like right now, you're in an interesting spot. How are you? You mentioned mental clarity. What are you doing for yourself to feel mentally clear? Like, how are you taking care of yourself?
This is gonna sound so cheesy, but honestly, what I do to help myself get through the day and even start a good day is tell myself or look at a little poster that I made with my high school quote. Make it a great day. The choice is yours. It's not that hard. You want to be happy, you'll be happy. You want to be sad, you'll be sad. We all have a choices. We all have a choice to make. I understand that there's going to be situations where it's tough and the last thing you want to do is smile. But I promise you, everyone needs a hug and a smile.
100%. I mean, this world needs more of that. And, like LeBron James said, right? If you think you're tired, you're going to be tired. But if you don't, you'll be awake. So it's all about attitude and how you approach it. And, I can clearly see sitting here with the last 16 minutes that you have a great attitude. And I think any team would be lucky to have you on their team. So, y'all got to start taking notice, man. This guy's
Appreciate it, man.
So, obviously, right now, what are you doing? Are you still doing music? You said you don't do it anymore, but you do it. I saw you posted something on your Facebook page. Do you still do a little bit of that?
I music right now has just been something that I like to do for fun. I don't make any more English style music, but I have been making some Mexican style music. Just posting it on different pages online, Facebook. That's about it. Not really taking it serious. Just something that I'm doing for fun. I'm a huge fan of the '90s style of Mexican music, specifically '90s style. And in the part of the United States where I'm from or where I'm at right now exactly, that style of music is no longer popular here anymore and hasn't been popular in the United States for a while. But certain areas like Texas, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, the South, they love that style of music. And that's where I used to live. And that's why I used to love it so much. And I got up here and never met or even heard of that style anywhere near here. And I said, you know what? I have my trumpet, I have my trombone, I have my drum set. I know how to record. I know how to produce. I know how to do that. I'm just gonna make my own stuff, at least for me.
So, I'm kind of a musician myself. I mean, I play the piano, so I love. As soon as I started playing the piano, I really enjoyed it, and I figured out I'm good at it, and I can totally understand what you're saying. Continuing your passion. Even when I stop piano lessons, I'm still gonna continue playing the piano. So,
yeah, of course.
Obviously, right now, you're talking about Billings Outlaws. This might be a loaded question. Where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years?
Oh my gosh. Realistically, at least a XFL practice squad opportunity. Something. I like to shoot for the NFL. Who wouldn't? But fortunately and unfortunately, the NFL is not the only professional league out there, and it's not the only mountain you can climb. There's plenty of more out there. And if you're doing it for the love of the game, then go for it, but just be thankful for any opportunity that comes your way. If you make that choice, then you make it based on if it's good for you, but any opportunity that comes your way, I'm thankful.
100%. I mean, that's a great attitude to have, Get ready for the next opportunity. So,
of course,
obviously, there's many people watching this. What is obviously, you've been through a roller coaster, you've been through ups and downs. What are your words of advice? If you could leave me with one quote or one piece of inspiration, what would you tell me?
If I could leave you one little quote of inspiration, oh man, I'm pretty bad at this, but I'm just gonna say the exact same words that I've always said, and my mom and dad have always told me: if they can, why can't you? Simple as that. I've seen people with disabilities, one arm, one leg, lifting 1,000 pounds, squatting, chopping it up, working their asses off, doing the impossible. My mom always told me, you have every limb, every sense. You can see, you can tell, you can smell. What's stopping you?
100%. It could always be worse. So you just have
to look
at the positive side. So, Alberto, I want to give this opportunity for you to shout out anyone that you want to. Give us your social media handles. Where can we show you some love?
Of course, you can go follow me on Instagram at Freako Bandito, FREAKO BANDEEDO. As my Instagram, I have all my pretty much personal football and a little bit of everything fun, wrestling, Power Ranger stuff. Everything is on there. TikTok at the KickTok, at El Compa Freako, I'll send you my information for that so you can share it out. But anything else you guys want to check me out, either Alberto Castaneda, Freako Bandito, or El Compa Freako on anything. Shout out who don't want to shout out. My friends, the homies up here in Everett, my family, coaches, the good ones and the bad ones. And a shout out to you. Why not? Because you brought me on the show. I appreciate you more than anything.
No problem.
Thank you for giving my voice a place to be spoken on.
No problem. Thank you, man. Like, you've been great. You're one solid dude. I gotta say that. And you have a bright future ahead of you. Whatever you decide to do, just based on your attitude, any employer in any field would be lucky to have you. So keep up the great work, man. Thank you for joining us, and have a solid rest of your night.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Everyone, have a good night. Thank you.